Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I thought this one was interesting. Crypto Wizard, we hadn't heard much out of this guy recently, but he's one of those chart guys, and he put this out, XRP Treasure Map Reveal. XRP's in the last phase of a 5+ year macro structure. He's written a 30-page guide on the structure, So, and he's got down here, he added this little chart here. I wanted to show you this. It's pretty interesting when I don't know anything about this charting stuff, but it's interesting to look at these patterns and what XRP did. This was back when it blasted off like 30,000% in 2017-18. And then as we know, all of this was the Ethereum from here all the way till now was the manipulation, the government coming after Ripple, the media, the pundits going on and bragging about shorting it. You know the story. We've talked about it so much on this channel. All of that suppression has gone on in here. And the question I've always asked is what would happen? This was when people started to realize what I realize, okay? There's a reason that the XRP army is bigger than all other armies. It's because they know that this was what happened when there was no manipulation. And they've sat on the sidelines like me and watched this Bitcoin Ethereum fake show, okay? And knowing that it's inferior, it's all inferior to XRP and XLM, by the way. And we've watched all these years of just pure manipulation and regulatory capture and all the other stuff. And so for me, the idea of what he's charting here, doing not only this or twice this, there's no digital asset with more pin-up demand than XRP. I don't care what anybody says. Max Kaiser and Michael Saylor, they can talk all they want about Bitcoin, but there's one simple fact, and this is what their greatest fear is. Take away the regulatory capture, take away the free pass, and add on, what if just all of a sudden out of nowhere, this mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto, who they know who it is, what if that person just all of a sudden showed up around the time that the better digital asset no longer had any constraints? Those are the things I'm thinking. Because when we have a government who spent 10 years lying to us and letting the world believe that they don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, when we've got him on video, Homeland Security saying that there's 4 Satoshis and they met with him, that should be the biggest red flag of all to everyone. They never counted on the XRP army, and I'll show you, even Charles Hoskinson has capitulated today. I'll show you that at the end of this. But before I leave that, I want to show you this. What he has is, just with this, he's showing it somewhere in that $8 to $14 range of XRP if there was a correction, just based on those historical patterns. We'll see. Coinbase will be CBOE's surveillance partner for the spot Bitcoin ETF, linked to not only Fidelity, but also Invesco, VanEck, Wisdom Tree, ARC21, and Invesco Galaxy, according to refiled applications. So, folks, the more I see, the more I'm just thinking this is all a game we're watching. And I think that we all kind of know this. You got the government going after Coinbase, and at the same time, you've got government entities like the CFTC that are involved in all this stuff, and they're working with the SEC behind the scenes. I just feel like we're watching a lot of theater here, folks. I really do. Now, this is theater, I can tell you that. Vitalik Buterin, we showed you this yesterday, where he's like, we wouldn't want to win it wouldn't be, if Ethereum was the winner, that wouldn't be an honorable way to win. Please, let me show you honorable, okay? This guy was involved. This is the Hinman email. We've shown you this, but I'm just piecing it together. While this guy's talking about how he's so concerned about an honorable win, he knew damn well that he was talking to Bill Hinman, and he knew what they were going to do, because Joseph Lubin was in all of these meetings. I told my wife that I was in the middle of doing a video, and then she called me again, but she knew. Okay, so anyway, to complete that thought, Vitalik Buterin knew. Okay, he knew, and he's sitting here acting like, "Oh, I wouldn't want to win in an unfair way." Oh, please. Speaking of Vitalik Buterin, look at this. Truth Labs, Ethereum's largest whale and founding partner Wang Zhang, led the development of China's social credit system along with IBM. Of course, Vitalik Buterin was chief scientist at the time of this development as well. This system is the foundation for being completely tracked and controlled. I'm not going to play this, but we already know that Vitalik Buterin is involved with that Wang Zhang. We know that. Now check this out from John Deaton. The fact that Andrew Ross Sorkin, this is something I've been on for a long time. The fact that Andrew Ross Sorkin, Becky Quick, and Joe Squawk of Squawk Box don't ask Clayton any real questions is mind-blowing to me. He couldn't survive 5 minutes of real questioning, and I wouldn't even have to get into. He says, 1, Clayton's family gets millions, over $4 million of annual dividends from WMB Holding. To receive $4 million in dividends is the equivalent of owning $200 million in stocks that pay 2% in dividends. 2, Clayton's wife is the B in WMB. WMB owns CSC. Clayton's father-in-law served as CSC's CEO from 1975 to 1998. WMB and CSC share the same address. Multiple other units of Goldman Sachs are using the same address. Clayton's wife was VP at Goldman Sachs for 17 years when Clayton became SEC chair. There are thousands of businesses using CSC as their registered agent and using CSC address as their legal address, including the island guy that had the jet, that had all kinds of people who was flying on it, that was involved in child trafficking. 4, CSC became, and by the way, folks, along this right here, let me remind you, Jay Clayton went to Apollo Global and replaced one Leon Black. Leon Black had to leave over his affiliation with the island guy who trafficked children. Okay? 4, CSC became the first foreign-owned company to receive domain registrar license in China. 5, it was alleged that CSC acts as a conduit for creating shell corporations and other sketchy vehicles used in tax evasion and money laundering. 6, Hal Clayton represented Lehman Brothers during the financial crisis, but showed up the next day representing Barclays, who was buying it. And he's retweeting Santiago Velez, who's a real sharp guy. What an amazing hypocrite. He's talking about that video clip going around about Jay Clayton. Then John Deaton brings another interesting point out. This is a big deal. This morning on Crypto Town Hall, we were discussing the major questions doctrine and Coinbase case against the SEC. This is another example of this Supreme Court making the writing on the wall very clear, potentially impacting an interlocutory appeal. And he's talking about how today SCOTUS granted cert to a case that will decide the legality of the SEC's in-house administrative court, showing once again that the court intends to curtail administrative overreach. Well, if the Supreme Court wants to curtail administrative overreach, then you may as well just shut down the SEC, and you might go to the FBI and DOJ next, from what I've seen. Then we've got this. Here's one of those 1 minutes. This is Brendan Berry, head of payments product at Ripple. Watch this.
We'll see how I'm able to do it. This is going to be a stretch to get it under a minute. Hi, my name is Brendan Berry, and this is Crypto in a Minute. I can't promise this is going to be comprehensive, but let me start with how I think about building blocks, which is really an analog to the financial systems tech stack. And it starts with an on-ramp, connecting your physical fiat currency and bringing it into the blockchain. The next would be tokenization. What other assets, not just currency, do you want to bring onto the blockchain? The third would be custody. Who's holding your funds? Are you holding your funds? Where is the technology that's actually providing that service? The next would be liquidity, conversion, and exchange. You want to be able to move your value in and out so you have flexibility. Another would be compliance services, making sure that you are maintaining KYC and AML requirements in your jurisdiction of operation. And last but certainly not least, off-ramps, connecting your digital value to the physical fiat infrastructure and domestic payment rails. Under a minute.
He did it. Sharp guy. Now, here's another sharp guy. Look at this. Cowboy Crypto. I was actually yesterday, I was like, oh man, what were the clips where Brad Garlinghouse brought up Citibank and Crypto Cowboy, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, was able to find the clip, the one that I would have loved to have been able to remember, but I'm 49, I'm getting old here. The memory's not what it used to be. Now, Citi is reportedly, this was from yesterday, remember Ripple bought, is it Mataco, is that how you say it? But anyway, Ripple bought it, and then within a few days, it's announced that Citigroup is going to reevaluate who they're going to use for crypto custody. They were working with Mataco. Here's Brad Garlinghouse. This might clear a few things up.
Messages to banks that have liquidity. So to some degree, Citibank and HSBC, really the top two, JPM, those are the top three liquidity banks. And when you're sending SWIFT messages, you're sending messages to banks to release liquidity and making sure the debits and credits match. So to some degree, really boil it down, Ripple's competing with the liquidity of Citi and the messaging of SWIFT, but in one, because we're both messaging and liquidity. Messages to banks that have liquidity. So to some degree.
So you can kind of see, that's, if I had to name two banks that in the whole course of me doing this channel, you just weren't able to find any real ties between them and Ripple as far as working together, it would be Citigroup and JP Morgan. That's what if I had to name two. Now, here's Pat Thielen of Ripple speaking on the future of crypto as a member of U.S. Federal Faster Payments Council. Watch this.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pat Thielen. I'm the Vice President of Global Account Management at Ripple. We truly believe that there is an internet of value coming, much like the internet provided with communications and email in the 90s and through the beginning of the millennium. Today, the payment system is advancing. And unlike a lot of the other crypto players in Ripple's space, we truly believe that the revolution is going to occur from within. So the ecosystem that the U.S. Faster Payments Council has put together will be those players that will make sure we advance the industry. The working groups that are coming out, it's the cross-border, the QR, the directory model. These are really opportunities to take that user experience, the interoperability that has been designed in the other initiatives, and really apply it to real-world problems. Many countries have leapfrogged the U.S. in real-time payments, so this is a real opportunity for us to leverage a body like this. The playing field is set, and you can either sit on the sidelines or suit up with U.S. Faster Payments Council and change the game.
Well, I like the optimism there. Now, this was sent to me today, and I put it up here in the clip. Charles Hoskinson, I believe Charles Hoskinson, to give the guy a break, I think that when he came at all of us and called us grand conspirators, I think he was making a mistake. I think he thought that by, in essence, defending the SEC, that they would somehow leave him alone. And I believe that Charles Hoskinson is finding out otherwise. I'm not saying they're going after him. I'm just saying he probably at least knows that these people have no interest in working with him or anybody else. And so now he has no problem saying, I think those guys weren't such crazy grand conspiracy guys after all. Listen to this.
But bureaucrats got a bureaucrat, starting to believe this free pass thing a little bit, starting to feel that way. I got some sympathy for you XRP guys. Yeah, I'm being pushed into that corner. I really am. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's funny what happens. It's funny what's happening when you start to feel not protected all of a sudden. But anyway, like I said, I went, a little while ago, he said he wanted to be friends with all of us again. I unblocked him, and then for over 2 weeks, he still has me blocked. So I don't think if he meant it, he didn't act on anything. So I blocked him again. If he wants to be at peace, I'm fine with it. But look, ETHgate was always real. We were right. We are right. They all know we're right. That's the reason you won't see anybody in the industry even say the word, because there's so many of them that were caught up in what went on, and they won't even say the word because we are right. How could we not be right? All we've ever done is shown a timeline, the videos of their own words. I mean, it's not like we were just making things up. It was all videos of their own words. That's the reason it has so much credibility. That's the reason we're right. They were just so arrogant. They didn't ever think that anybody would piece it all together. And the shocking part is that, you know what the most shocking part out of all of it to me has always been? Is that even Andreessen Horowitz, attorneys are, I mean, their whole game is to keep their mouth shut. But even their attorney goes out and on YouTube publicly and tells what they did. That's the most unbelievable. I wonder if he's still their attorney. I mean, golly. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and ask your friends and family, is Andreessen Horowitz crypto attorney still the same guy? I mean, he looks like he's grown a beard and he's living in the mountains or something now. So I imagine, I don't know, maybe he still is. Who knows? Thanks for listening.